Welcome back. We're like halfway through the regular fantasy season, or like right at that cusp, right? So fantasy season's getting a little bit past the halfway point, or right at it. So right now is like kind of do or die for some of your rosters. So get in here and ask some questions. Sully, there was 2 questions that I had, same thing as last week, where they're not popping up for me again, but they might be for you.
Yeah. So let me see what I can do here.
If you can click on it, yeah, sweet.
Same question, both of them. Same question, same person. So here we go.
Who is Amari?
I think it's Amari, right? So it's probably Amari.
Amari
or
Brian Thomas Jr.
What are you doing here?
I don't know if I can set Brian Thomas Jr. at this point.
I agree.
He's almost a must start for this team. I mean, he's got like 20 points in his last couple. Last week he did have the tough matchup, and he still was able to find the end zone and get a nice deep ball catch on really, really good coverage. Like, this dude's the real deal for sure.
Yeah.
And becoming quickly another rookie wide receiver that might be a must start on a weekly basis. I guess it's just him and Malik Neighbors at this point that are must starts until we see a Kyler Marv.
I think there's a rookie Arizona wide receiver that's going to have a monster of a game today, just in my gut.
You think Marv goes off today?
Yep. I think that game is crazy high scoring, but I agree with you. I think, Neighbors and Johnson are the only 2 or Brian Thomas Jr., pardon me, are the only 2 must start guys. This is one of those ones where it's like, can you let us know who your flexes are? Because I think Amari Cooper needs to start too. I don't know if you saw Amari Cooper's touchdown catch last week. He was at the line of scrimmage and he's looking at Buddy going,
Keon Coleman told him which routes are.
Let's just go run down there and he'll find you. Bang, touchdown, right? So, I would like to start them both, but gun to my head, I'm starting Brian Thomas Jr. over Amari Cooper. Are these questions popping up for you? You seeing them now?
Yeah. The rest of them, it's just like the pre-lobby ones for some reason go away once I press the banner or our little video. So
okay, I'll let you drive the bus.
Full PPR flex, pick one. Excuse me, Ladd, Downs, or Franklin. I'm like on the verge of sneezing. Ladd McConkey, Josh Downs, or Troy Franklin, who's kind of starting to break out a little bit.
Ladd's banged up and he's questionable, but looks like he's going to play. I cannot do anything with Indianapolis as long as Anthony Richardson is playing quarterback until he shows me something different. And I think Bo Nix is a nice story. He's a good fantasy story, but I'm not really hitching my wagon to Franklin here. This one's Ladd for me quite easily in my rankings this week.
I think I'm gonna go the other way. I think I'm gonna go with Franklin. Bo Nix, I think is I think he's actually pretty good. I think we're seeing what we kind of saw with Russ last year, where the quarterback's playing well. It's just the talent around him is not helping too much. They're getting that run game going, which is nice with Williams a little bit, and as backs out of the backfield too with him and Jaleel McLaughlin. Those guys are kind of stepping up, and Troy Franklin. Yeah, Troy Franklin is starting to get that college connection that he and Bo Nix had back, and he had quite a few targets last week. I think he had a nice little 10-point game, didn't find the end zone, but he's getting more and more involved every single week. I just feel like when I'm looking at guys of this caliber, I'm going to go with the guy that I think gets the most targets, and that is going to be Franklin for me. I don't really the Chargers don't really have anybody fantasy relevant right now outside of J.K. Dobbins, I guess. Same with the Colts, except for their running back, Jonathan Taylor, the only guy I really feel comfortable starting on that roster as well. So, yeah, I'll go with the guy I think gets him the targets today.
I like it.
Yep. Franklin's got I think he'll start to creep up on some people's radars. He's there on some people, but I just own him in a couple of spots, which is why I've been kind of paying attention to him. And I watched that game last week because it was a Thursday night game, if I'm not mistaken. And he looked pretty good. Had some rapport there, you could see.
Yeah.
Would you start Jayden Daniels or Kirk Cousins today?
Well, it looks like Daniels is going to start. So as long as Jayden Daniels starts, I'm starting him. Like, I don't know how you sit that kid at this point. So it's a tough one against Chicago for sure. But, and Cousins threw for 500 last time he played the Tampa Bay. So I can see why it's a question for some. But if Washington's comfortable putting Jayden Daniels in their lineup, so am I.
It sucks because I have the same dilemma in the league today. It's like, is Jayden Daniels? So part of the upside of Jayden Daniels starting him is that rushing. With him having some hurt ribs, do we really think he runs? Do we think he gets any sort of option plays near the end zone, which is kind of like what you'd hope for a little bit? I just don't. I don't think he does.
I do, and there's only one Lamar Jackson, but the only other quarterback I've ever seen run that reminds me of him is Daniels. And Lamar has this incredible ability to avoid contact, and I think Daniels has that same ability. So does he run as free and as much as he has pre-injury? Probably not. But if he runs for
and the matchup
six for 50 and a score, he's probably outscoring Cousins, right?
So that's 11 points right there.
Right. So, and I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility for him. So, like I said, if he goes, he's in my lineup. I don't think I can argue with anyone that would go the other way, though. I think Cousins is in a good spot too.
Yeah. I'm just going to defer with Sully here because I'm in the same spot, and I'm debating it as well. And I'll probably go with Jay. I'm a heavy favorite, so why not go for the big points and see if I can just keep a huge lead on scores. I'll go with Jayden Daniels as well with the rushing upside, even though he's a little hurt.
Yeah.
Lad sucks. Oh, this is from the question earlier. Go with Franklin. Yeah, I go with Franklin too. I don't think Lad sucks. I think it's just that team is going to be that we're going to see that team get better next year and the year after. That's the Harbaugh effect, right? He's going to build that team the way he wants, and Lad McConkey is going to be a pivotal part moving forward, I think, in the middle of the field for any quarterback. Back there.
Lad doesn't suck. Lad's an incredible route runner. He was awesome at Georgia. He's going to be good for that team. And I echo what Bryce says. It's just he's a rookie wide receiver on a team that wants to run the football, and his quarterback's always hurt, and there's a lot of things going on there. And Lad himself is hurt. So I have Lad here well above them both, but I've been wrong a time or two, so we'll see.
Yep. Calvin Ridley or Wan'Dale Robinson?
Ridley might not go today, so you got to keep your eye on that. He's been battling a foot injury all week, but regardless of Ridley's health, it's Wan'Dale. Calvin Ridley has 193 receiving yards on the season, and he leads the Titans.
Yeah. Last week was a tough matchup for him too, but this week's a little bit better. It's just Wan'Dale's got a tough matchup against the Steelers tonight, so that really sucks because they are good at kind of containing the middle of the field. Where I really feel like if anybody's gonna have a good day for the Giants, it's gonna be the outside receivers and Slayton and
Neighbors.
Yeah, I'll go with. Wan'Dale still just gets a ton of targets. Give me Wan'Dale still. He just gets
I think that's why. Plus, Ridley might not play. We got to keep our eye on that.
Yeah. But at least, luckily, you got time because Wan'Dale doesn't play till tonight. So if you did decide to go against us and go with Ridley, which I can't really blame you because it's close for me, Wan'Dale doesn't play till tonight, so you're golden.
Good call.
Knicks or Murray?
Crazy. This is a question. Back to back in my rankings, I have Kyler one spot ahead, but I like them both. I hate Bo Nix, the football player, but I love Bo Nix, the fantasy quarterback. Like he runs
line. He runs really well too. Like he's a lot more mobile than I really remember him. You really don't like him as a player? I don't mind him. He does have those errant throws.
I just think that he needs too much stuff to happen at the line of scrimmage, and I think it's tough to succeed in the NFL when your ADOT is that low. But I shouldn't say I don't like him. I just don't. Well, that doesn't help him either. But it's I don't know. He wasn't very highly ranked of all the rookies coming up this year for me. Let's put it that way.
Fair enough. I will also go Murray here. He's now like back-to-back weeks with like a pretty long touchdown run too, which is super.
And that nice touchdown run, he just took off like somebody shot him out of a cannon. I was like, holy shit, like he's flying. So
he's got some jets. He just runs
happy to see that even post-injury that he can still move.
Football de Noche did say these are his wide receivers, so this makes sense why it's
yeah.
So you're starting two wide receivers in a flex, kind of some more simple. Nowadays, the leagues we're in, where you get three wide receivers and maybe a couple flex options. But some of these, I'm in leagues like this where you do two, and one, like two running back, two wide receivers in flex. I would flex BTJ.
I'm still sitting Amari. That's quite a lineup and quite a roster. But I think you have.
Yeah, Cup gave you a nice little start too. 16
sure did. Welcome back, Cooper Kupp.
Chase Brown or Tank Dell?
Sounds like ETN is out, so this one's pretty much Tank for me.
Oh, Tank Bigsby. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
I thought it was Bigsby. It might be Dell. Multiple Tanks, hey? So I have Bigsby.
I'm going Tank.
I'm Tank on both sides, correct.
Chase Brown is like kind of destined to score today, though. He's playing against his brother.
I like him.
Playing against his brother today. Ooh, a tight end question. And it's National Tight End Day. Both these guys are probably off. I think it's last year on National Tight Ends Day, all of like the star tight ends scored a touchdown. That is
Kittle had a monster. I remember Kittle having a monster game.
I think Kyle Pitts even had his only like touchdown last year on National Tight Ends Day, if I remember. But I think it's time for. I mean, man, Pitts has actually got value now. Like he's actually putting up good points for a tight end. He's like giving you the 10 points that you need, which is super nice.
Yeah.
But we're on a Mark Andrews like back to 3 touchdowns in the last 2 games, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
It looks like he's back.
He kind of came back to life a little bit. I think the key here is if Zay Flowers plays, I'm going to go with Kyle Pitts. If Zay Flowers is out, I'm going to go with Mark Andrews.
That's fair. I think I'll just go Mark Andrews regardless here. I'll go Mark Andrews regardless here. Back-to-back games, like I said, with touchdowns, a tight end day. I'll take the veteran that's rolling real hot right now. Pitts probably, weirdly enough, might be the safest floor here, which is strange to say about him at this point.
He performed well against Tampa Bay last time as well, and I just like the matchup.
But Kirk did throw for 500 yards. If anybody performed bad with that, that's a major concern. I mean, there's plenty of yards to go around.
That's a pretty valid point.
He was the third best on his team receiving.
Yeah, Mooney had a big day, and obviously London did too.
Drake London blew up too, and even the dude that caught a last-second touchdown might have scored more points than Pitts because of that.
I think touchdown. He did. Keandre
Kadarius
Hodge.
Yeah,
thank you.
Yeah, he came in one play and scored more than Pitts, but that's because he found the end zone on it.
Wow, he looked good. Why is that guy not on the field more? Anyway.
Good morning, fellas. PPR, need one. Flex Alexander Madison, Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, or Calvin Ridley. And would you start Kirk Cousins or Anthony Richardson? Thank you very much. Good luck today. Can we start with the easy part and just say Cousins here? Anthony Richardson is not going to be I don't think this dude's going to be a starting quarterback for very long in the league. He's just not a good passer.
It's really bad.
He could end up in a situation like with like a Sean McVay. Like if he somehow at some point in the near future ended up with like a really good coach that could scheme around him better, it might be it. But he's not a guy that can sit back and throw it very well. I don't know. He's giving me the Justin Fields type of thing that I see, where it's like all the talent in the world, but it's just you got to be a better passer to be successful in the
Justin
NFL.
Fields looks like Dan Marino or Joe Montana compared to Anthony Richardson. That dude is straight up trash throwing the football right now. So I do think he has the ability to maybe work on some mechanics and get his feet right and get better. But right now, it's Kirk Cousins by a friggin' mile on this one. Yeah. The other one's a little more interesting. So I do not like Alexander Madison against the Chiefs. Cortland Sutton didn't get a target last week. And Jerry Jeudy just did not see the lift that I thought he would. It was Cedric Tillman that saw the lift in Cleveland. And Ridley is banged up / looking old and doesn't exactly have a great quarterback, regardless of who plays for Tennessee. So I think I probably go the safest route here, which I think is Jerry Jeudy. But if it's not Jerry Jeudy, for me, it's probably Alexander Madison because I think he's going to have the ball in his hands. I don't know what the other guys are going to do.
Yeah, I think at this point, I didn't know. I really didn't trust any Browns player last week with DTR back there. He's really never been able to make anybody really fantasy relevant. Right. With that being said, it's Jameis now, and Jameis has made plenty of people fantasy relevant throughout his career. And I mean, he's going to throw it. So Jerry Jeudy is going to be my best option out of these guys by kind of a wide margin at this point.
If you remember,
a breakout game for him.
Yeah, if you remember last week, it was still Deshaun Watson, though, right? And then Deshaun Watson popped his Achilles, and then DTR broke his finger or whatever.
But again, Deshaun Watson hasn't made anybody fantasy relevant either. So
no, he has
he's
not.
Done. I think his days with the Browns are done. I don't know. His days in the NFL could be done for all I know. I don't know.
Is that the best thing that could have possibly happened to the Cleveland Browns?
I think they were playing Watson at this point to lose. I really do. I think that they got their eyes now on a quarterback in this draft, whether it's Cam Ward, whether it's maybe Shador. I would imagine
crazy,
top two guys. Maybe Dylan Gabriel. I don't know.
Only got a few $100 million guaranteed. You got to pay him still. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta just I like when they did that. I don't feel like that many people thought it was like that crazy. Like they thought it was a lot of money to give someone guaranteed, but it's like Deshaun Watson prior to everything was like a top 5 quarterback in the league. So it's not like that decision wasn't stupid in hindsight. Now it is dumb, but hindsight's 2020. So when you look back at that, it's like Deshaun Watson could have been that piece to take that team. If he went back to how he was playing, could take that team to the next level. But we're seeing now that players oftentimes when they come back from a long hiatus do not come back the same, except Mike Vick apparently. He was the only one that came back and kind of lit the league up again. Right. But even then, he couldn't take that team to the next level. He was just exciting to watch. But
Calvin Ridley, same thing, right? Took a year off with his unfortunate suspension.
Le'Veon Bell, Plexico Burress back in the day. Like everybody that takes a year or two off, like they come back and it's not the same. Like, yeah, you can't. Your body deconditions obviously pretty rapidly when you're not playing in the NFL.
Well, you lose that game shape, right?
Yep. Gibbs, Walker, Hunt, and Javonte pick 3. So it's between Hunt and Javonte pretty easily for us there. And then we got Kittle or Njoku at tight end. So Javonte or Hunt for the 3rd. I imagine you're not sitting Gibbs or Walker. I can't. There's no way.
No, I'm not. Man, that's a little tough because Javonte really looked good last week.
Yeah, both of these guys are like kind of the same, Hunt and Javonte. It's like, now they're fantasy relevant again. Holy crap!
I think Patrick Mahomes is going to try to throw for 500 yards and 10 touchdowns today after that Kermit the Frog puppet thing the Raiders did in the preseason. So I think there's a personal vendetta there. So
Max Crosby today with that. That'll be fun. That'll be a fun game to watch.
I'm going to watch that one. I'll lean Javonte here because I think Hunt is a little bit less involved. And I have Kittle as my top-ranked tight end this week, although he is battling a potential sprained foot. So he's questionable, but I have Kittle at the top for a lot of different reasons. And the National Tight Ends Day propels him even further because that dude loves that shit. So,
yeah, it's Javonte for me as well. Hunt obviously has the highest touchdown upside, but Javonte is involved in the pass game, which is nice. And then, excuse me.
There you go. You got it.
Bless you. It's going to be Kittle for me as well. I mean, there's no one else to throw the ball to. Well, I mean, there is. I think that actually we'll see some young guys step up for them. I think Ricky Pearsall might flash.
I think so too.
Today. There's no even Jawan Jennings. I'm not sure if Debo's playing or not. I know he was.
Sounds like he is.
Yeah.
Last thing I read, it sounded like he and Kittle will both go, but.
Did you see the video of the kid in the back seat crying about his whole roster being hurt and Debo messaged or replied to it?
Yeah.
We've all been there.
Fuck. No one replied to me.
Yeah. He was like all balling because Cortland's can't catch anything and Debo's hurt. It's so funny. And then Debo commented to him. It seems like Debo could go off today for that kid. It'd be funny if he did. But it's Kittle for me as well. I do like Njoku today as well. With now, like Brown's pass catchers to me are a little bit more like who is going to step up for them.
And Jameis has always had a thing for his tight ends, right? You go back to his Tampa days and stuff, right? So I think that Njoku's
didn't he start to make OJ Howard like finally relevant a little bit, just a little bit? It wasn't anything crazy, but he kind of was like a guy that you felt okay starting again. So
like I have Njoku at 4 this week. Like I love them both, but I'm just Kittle's number 1, so I'm taking him.
Sam Laporta today. Just saying, no Jameson Williams because of
I don't know.
I think it's National Tight End Day.
Okay,
that's Sam Laporta's having a big day today.
Yeah, not according to my rankings, but I'm with you.
Okay, thanks for the time.
Always. Well, you're welcome. You're welcome. Regardless, we're happy you're here, and that's why we're here. Yeah. So thank you.
Makes our time go by when people do it. Okay, here's a tough one.
I think it is.
Marvin Harrison or Jonathan Taylor is not tough for you, huh?
No, as much as I think Marvin Harrison's going to have a good day today, Jonathan Taylor's the only thing that can save the Colts right now. So I think he gets fed a ton, as much as he can take. So I think it's JT here.
Yeah, it's JT for me as well. Marvin Harrison at this point is just too risky, which I really kind of thought we'd see this a little bit. I thought he'd get a lot more targets than he's getting right now, but Kyler is spreading the ball out pretty well this season.
I was reading about
still his favorite.
Yeah, and I was reading that Marvin Harrison Jr. has one of the deepest ADOTs in the league, and it's tough to be, really relevant and efficient when you're getting 17-yard shots down the field all the time. So
yeah,
I just want him to go nuts. I just want him to be a diva like everybody else and start bitching and stuff, because then that'll get him going. But he just doesn't seem like
his
that
dad
kind
was
of
never
kid.
like that. His dad was never like that either. Not a diva.
Just before we went on, I was watching a thing on Twitter, an interview with him, and he's like, "Yeah, season's not exactly going the way I wanted it to, but hey, we're 3-4." Like, I'm like, "Come on, kid, lose your mind."
But then again, why would his dad be a diva when he had Peyton Manning throwing him the ball?
Well, and his dad did get a lot of targets.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, you got to imagine if they don't start winning, it's the same thing that's getting a lot of these coaches. I mean, we saw with Atlanta, right? You don't get your high draft picks involved early and you're losing games. What are you doing? So if they don't start winning, if they start winning games and he's not being utilized, okay, oh well, he's out there maybe causing a distraction or whatever. But if you're losing and you're not implementing your number 3 draft pick or 4 draft pick, that's a problem.
They're right in the thick of it, though. 3-4 in that division. They're tied with San Francisco and Seattle.
Yeah,
and
Seattle's 4-3, leading the division.
Okay, and the rest are 3-4. I think so.
Yep.
Yeah,
basically that division is still right there for everybody.
After that shitty Thursday night game,
and the funny thing is, I see all those teams getting better as the year progresses. So
me too, definitely.
Maybe not the Seahawks. They probably kind of stay the same, but the rest of them, I think, we'll start to get together. All right, J.K. Dobbins, or I guess this is the number. Is this the number 1 receiver now for Tampa? Trey Palmer? I don't even know.
It's either him or Sterling Shepard.
Oh yeah, Sterling. He might be a solid option this week.
I like him this week.
But to me, this is J.K. Dobbins. I don't know how the ball is going to get distributed in Tampa. They might have to throw it a lot today, which does create some value for some guys. Like I like Cade Otton today if you're thin at tight end. But J.K. Dobbins, it seems like is a minimum 20 touches a week. So I can't avoid that.
And I was just checking matchups. That I have them ranked 9th, and New Orleans has been a bit soft on the defensive side. Actually, the whole team is hurt. So I like J.K. Dobbins here. He kind of tapered off after 2 really big weeks to start the season, but I watched that game last week he looked pretty solid. So if he's healthy, he's like a career 5+ yards per carry kind of back, and
he is.
He's just really talented. So I'll go with JK here as well.
Yeah, it's sad his career basically got kind of diminished by injuries because he was going to be a good running back in the league healthy.
Yeah.
What's up, fellas? I'm considering playing Terry McLaurin over Marvin Harrison. I think if Jayden Daniels plays, that's a perfectly fine thing to do.
Yep.
Chase Brown over Tank Bigsby in full PPR. If Etienne is playing, that's fine for me. But if Etienne is not playing, or even like if he's limited, I'm going Tank Bigsby if he's not. So that
T. Higgins is out. If anybody cares,
I'm gonna put that on our banner.
I'm just checking to see if I see anything on.
There was a lot of questionables. I only put the ones that were already labeled as out on the banner.
I don't see anything about ETN yet, but Higgins was one of the guys trending doubtful. He is out.
It did say when I was looking that he was going to be a true game time decision. So
yeah, sounds like ETN and Daniels are also those game time decisions and Debo is as well. I think the thing with Debo is it's a little bit later this afternoon, right? So you got to have a backup plan. If Debo's in your lineup and he doesn't go, you got to have something.
Yeah, so you go try and get Ricky Pearsall off the waivers, but I can't imagine he's sitting on the waivers for many people today.
Probably not. I think that I'm honestly Tank Bigsby over Chase Brown, even if ETN does play.
That's fair. He does get some goal line work. I think Tank Bigsby's a better running back anyway. I think ETN's a nice guy out of the backfield, but I never really thought his running ability was anything special. I thought he was super volume based, and he was last year. He got the ball 20+ times, and this guy kept arguing with me. He's like, "You said ETN isn't a good running back." I'm like, "Listen, anybody can be good if they get the ball fantasy relevant if they get the ball 20+ times every week." But I just think that Tank Bigsby.
Yeah, I was never crazy about him either. I'm a Clemson guy, so I used to watch a bunch of his games, and he'd bounce everything outside and then just turn on the Jets. And it's like in the NFL, you're not bouncing everything outside. You're not getting to the corner. So, but I think if ETN is out, it's Ernest Johnson becomes a flex-worthy, valuable player. So, but I think Tank's in my lineup regardless.
Yep. Start one, Debo, Doubs, or Mooney.
If Debo goes, it's Debo. If he doesn't, it's Mooney. I would rank this Debo, Mooney, Dobbs if everybody's healthy.
What time is Dobbs and Mooney play?
Dobbs is Mooney's right out of the gate at 1. Let me just double check. Yeah. Mooney and so Green Bay. So Dobbs and Mooney are both early, and Debo's the 4 o'clock.
So I think you can't put in Debo just in case at this point.
Unless you have some form of Giant, Steeler, Cowboy, or other Niner option, you're right.
Yeah. So if just in case, I would probably play Mooney here. This is the game he went off last time, and Kirk threw for 500 yards. Not saying that's going to happen again, but I mean 300 plus still, and Mooney's probably going to be a decent amount of those yards if that's the case.
Yeah.
But Dobbs is on back-to-back good weeks as well, which is hard to ignore.
And he gets Jacksonville, so that's not bad either.
Yeah. Is Jair playing today? If so, he's probably – I don't know if he'd guard Reed or not. I don't know who he would guard.
I don't know.
Reed works a lot out of the slot and stuff. I don't know if he'd guard Reed. Need an RB2 and a flex. Chase Brown, Hubbard, Bigsby, Doubs. Thanks, fellas.
Chuba's in real tough against Denver. Their defense is spot on, legit. Chase Brown, I think we see a little bit more Zach Moss than we would like this week. I think I go Tank and Dobbs here. I like Chuba, but in the one situation I have Chuba Hubbard, I'm pretty solid at running back, so I'm going to sit him this week. Tough to get away from Chuba Hubbard because of the running back landscape right now. But if you can, I'm going to go with Tank, assuming that's Bigsby and Dobbs. In fact, yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, Etienne's out. Tank is easily my pick here. If Etienne is in, I think I could maybe go Hubbard and Doubs because I just would rather go with the guaranteed touches.
I don't blame you there.
Yeah. So that's the way I'll lean that. Just keep an eye on that. Hello from Thailand.
This might be our first Thailand question. That's pretty cool.
Devontae Adams, Garrett Wilson, or BTJ for the flex? Have Hill and JJ, and also have Ingram for stacking privilege. Jeez Louise.
It's a nice league, nice team.
I kind of got a roster question. I've got a tough one too. That I'll kind of piggyback off of this because I've got Adams and Garrett Wilson in one of my lineups today, and I've got DJ Moore on my bench. And it's like, do I take one of them out, put in DJ Moore? I don't know. Well, let's answer his question first. So, which one for the flex? Because he's got Jefferson that already played. He's got Tyreek today with Tua. Not definitely starting Tyreek. So, Adams or Wilson or Brian Thomas Jr.
I have Brian Thomas Jr. ranked the highest, so I'm going to stay there.
Man, I just think he's the least talented out of these three is the crazy thing, and that's no dig at him.
Adams gets Gonzalez, right?
I don't know. I think Gonzalez. If I noticed how he lined up against Jacksonville, he did not follow BTJ around. He kind of stayed on that left side of the field.
So then he's probably not going to get Adams. I think Adams plays on the left side of the offense, and if Gonzo's on the left side of the defense, they're on opposite sides of the field, right?
Right. Well, Adam kind of plays a little bit everywhere for sure. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And Wilson's is he primarily playing more out of the slot for the Jets?
No, he lined up everywhere too. Like they just lined up everybody everywhere. I feel like
You got Noel and Lazard this week. I don't know if that's a big deal, but so those two guys should get peppered. I just think, I don't know.
I think I kind of agree with you. I think if they do put guns on anybody, they're going to put them on Adams and then try and I don't know. I'm going to go Garrett Wilson. I'm just going to throw it out there. I'm going to go Garrett Wilson. I think today could be a big day for him, but I also think that it could be like Adams could be that guy that gets like 4 or 5 catches today and they're both touchdowns because he and Adams are so deadly in the red zone on their their option route.
I just have this feeling with Rodgers and Adams, we're chasing ghosts from years gone by. I don't know anymore. And I get it was Devontae's first game, and apparently he lost his shit on the entire locker room after the game and went crazy. And so maybe he gets fed this week. I don't know. But I just think Brian Thomas Jr. is just so damn good. I'll stick with BTJ.
You need to make a trade and upgrade to make your life easier and upgrade at running back. I can't imagine unless you're in like a 6-man league or something. I don't know.
Yeah, and
you got to upgrade somewhere, and you don't even really need to upgrade at tight end. I mean, Ingram is
right
moving forward as a top 5 fantasy tight end. So
the 2 wide receivers on the same team is not necessarily terrible, but it can be a little bit challenging and frustrating in situations like this. So I would try to get away from that as well.
Yeah, just make your life easier and start sits. Would you take either of them out for DJ Moore, Devontae, or Garrett? Both. Just for reference, like my flex players are literally.
According to my rankings, I would take them both out.
You got DJ Moore above both of them? Damn.
Yeah. I have Thomas at 13, Moore at 14, Wilson at 15, and Adams at 17. So they're all clustered together here.
Sheesh. Chat, help me out. DJ Moore, Adams, Garrett Wilson. Who would you put in there? I've got both Garrett and Adams in, but I mean, out of those,
so I think you got it.
Walker's in my flex too. That's how strong my league is. Like my team is in that league.
I think in your situation, you split the difference, right? So if Aaron Rodgers gets trucked in the first possession of the game and he's out, both your wide receivers are hooped, right? So if you hedge your bets and put one of those guys in, pick your favorite jet and go that way, I'd go that way. But
yeah, I mean,
Rodgers.
I've got Breece Hall, Derrick Henry, Brock Bowers, Tyreek, Jefferson.
You could start me.
Both the running back, both those wide receivers. DJ Moore on my bench. Yeah, I'm loaded, but I am playing one of the tougher teams this week, so it'd be nice to. And he had a decent start with Stafford and Kupp, so
yeah.
But I had Jefferson that also had a good start, so it should be a good matchup. Jonathan Taylor over Marvin Harrison. What are we doing here? Yeah, I think he's agreeing. I imagine he's agreeing with us. I don't know.
I don't know if he is or not, but what are we doing here? I'm starting Jonathan Taylor over Marvin Harrison.
Yeah, I am too.
Tell me why I shouldn't.
Yeah, I think he's agreeing with us. He said because he put a period. So. He would have put a question mark. I feel like if it was like after Marvin.
Yeah.
Tell us if you're agreeing with us or disagreeing with us. I
think you're right.
So why? Got Jayden Daniels. Should I grab Bo Nix, Geno Wilson, Winston, May, Herbert? Here's a clear. Let's add to this. Even if he goes, are you putting him in over all of these guys?
Without question.
Yeah. Out of these that are here, if I had to start one of them, if Jayden Daniels was not to go, it'd be Bo Nix.
Me too.
Yep. Easy matchup today. He's got the rushing upside. Yep. It's crazy how fantasy irrelevant Herbert is now.
Yeah. And
thank God I did not invest in him.
He's this era. You were so right about him. You were going back about him last year too. He's this generation's Ben Roethlisberger. He's always hurt. He always plays through it. He just can't seem to throw for the 5,000 and whatever, or 4,000 plus that I guess he has. It just his new offense is going to.
Yeah, I mean, we can't fault him with all these pieces that he's now lacking. But with the way Harbaugh's always coached, he's never really coached an offense that's been a big gunslinging offense.
Correct.
It's more traditional football with that's really, really balanced. So it's just I don't really ever see him having a ton of value. I mean, Phil gives me like Phillip Rivers type vibes, but even Phillip Rivers threw for a lot of yards. I don't know.
I love Phillip Rivers.
He could be. I did too. I mean, Phillip Rivers was awesome. The best shit talker I've ever seen.
And never swore at you.
Yeah, that's why it's funny. That's why it was funny.
Zay Flowers is active.
Okay.
So back
looking
to that.
For one
Kyle
wide
Pitts,
receiver.
Mark Andrews. I'll take Kyle Pitts.
Okay, fair enough. I'll stick with Andrews, but I can't fall. Looking for one wide receiver, one flex. With this news, Flowers, JSN, Pittman, Kirk, Pearsall, Chuba, Chase Brown, Eckler, and then Tyrone Tracy. So wide receiver first.
So it's Flowers, JSN, Pittman, Kirk, Pearsall.
JSN for me.
I think with Metcalf almost certainly out, it's JSN for me as well.
I think Metcalf is officially out, if I'm not mistaken.
Is he officially out now? Okay.
I thought he was. I thought it said he was.
He probably is. I probably missed it.
Either way, yeah, I'm going JSN. And then my flex comes down to it's got to be Flowers. Yeah. Which is, I just feel like Pearsall is going to have a big game today, but you can't do that. You can't.
I kind of do too, but you're right. It's way too risky.
Yeah. I like getting put in situations where it's like I have no choice but to start him because then I'm excited about it. But it's like I can't put him over Zay Flowers if Zay Flowers is active. You just can't do that.
I almost went Zay Flowers over JSN, so I think that makes Zay Flowers easily my flex. Yeah.
Okay. After this question, I guess I get to see Pearsall, but we'll say this one first. PPR: Tyler Franks, Green Bay tight end, or Noah Fant. Thanks, guys, for answering all my questions. I appreciate it. Hope you guys have a great Sunday.
Okay, so I don't know who Tyler Franks is. Is that?
I don't know who that is either.
Is he a Green Bay tight end? Is that legit?
Is Tucker Kraft hurt or something? I don't know. This is Noah Fant. This is Noah Fant for me anyway. But
Noah Fant's been pretty relevant, and you take DK out, so I think so.
Yeah, he's actually been a nice little foreplay sometimes. He's getting like kind of just like some short, like he's almost like the check down option, which is kind of nice. I mean, Gino seems to like to throw it shorter. It just kind of takes a shot. This freaking fly has been pissing me off, dude. I don't understand why bugs do that. Like they just find one thing to hone in on and they just keep
because they know it's pissing you off. That's why they call bugs, because they bug you. I think Tyler Franks is looks like a wrestler. Hang on.
I don't know who that is.
I've never heard of him. Actually, let me just look at the Packers.
It's Noah Fant. I don't care if it's a what Green Bay tight end it is.
I like to think I know what I'm talking about here, and I usually know who the player is, but this is 2 weeks in a row. We had something last week, too. I was like, who the hell is that? That's awesome.
I have been less active this year on my fantasy. Like
I have too. I've been a little bit busier. So
see this thing right here? I freaking hauled this yesterday and put it in my house.
The fridge?
Yes.
Oh yeah, the previous one was white, wasn't it?
Yeah. This one's a nice KitchenAid, and he says in the freezer, the ice maker doesn't work. I don't care because this house is old. There's no water line over here, so I just need a fridge, and it's a freaking $4,000 fridge he gave me for $250 because the ice maker didn't work. I was like, I need it a week. I'll do that.
Mark, I'm Noah Fant here, and I cannot find Tyler Franks.
Unless it's some sort of nickname for a player.
Is it possible that we're talking about a player named Tyler and a player named Franks? Like, help me out, Mark. I don't know what we're doing here. But nonetheless, I'm looking at the Packers depth chart. Their tight ends are Tucker Kraft, Ben Sims, and John Fitzpatrick. And then I'm looking at IRs, Luke Musgrave, and I'm looking at their practice squad. And I see Messiah Swinson. So I'm going to say do not sit or start Tyler Franks this week because I don't know who the hell he is.
Pearsall, Boyd, or Tolbert. This is where I get to say Pearsall, and I feel fine with it.
I think I'm Tolbert here, but I can't argue with that. It's Pearsall.
Fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. Boyd can see a little bit more action now, too.
He's the only guy who can catch a ball. Him and Chig. So
yeah.
That seems bad.
Yep. Sorry. Ordered my lunch for my wife.
All good, man. We all got stuff to do.
Pick one in 0.5 PPR. Laporta, Kraft, or Otten. Man, I said both Laporta and Otten are good options today.
Kraft's a good option too.
I just, again, it's just Green Bay for me. it's tough to really want to start anybody that's not Jaden Reed or I like Josh Jacobs too. He's fine.
I get it. It's hard to pick which guy's going to go off each week. This is Cade Otton for me.
I think it is for me too.
I have Laporta ranked the lowest of these three.
Interesting. I do think Laporta has a good day today. I
hope he does.
He's that guy for me that I have a feeling about. I think he could find the end zone, but even then, you could find the end zone and still not have a better day than some of these guys. I mean, Otton might get the target monster today. That's why I'm going to choose him. I see the most targets going his way today out of these options. Do I trade Keenan Allen for Dell? If you're not contending, sure, yeah. Even if you are, it's definitely something you could debate. I do think Dell sees less value once Nico does come back, which could hurt you, especially later in the season. But if you're even like in the middle of a pack, like you're on a fringe playoff team, I would just start Dell and maybe even start the reload process there because I really see Dell being way more valuable.
What about in a redraft situation? What are you doing here?
Redraft situation, I'm taking Keenan Allen for sure.
I think it's tough, right? Like I think Dell is coming on a little bit, but Nico's reportedly coming back week 10, and he, we kind of at the onset of the season were kind of wondering which one of these three wide receivers in Houston would suffer with all three of them being there with Diggs, Nico, and Tank. And I think consensus was that it would be Diggs that would just be the fringe guy, and it turned out it was kind of Dell. So, and then on the flip side of that, Keenan Allen didn't really do a whole hell of a lot of anything until the last couple of weeks, but Caleb's really looks like he's figured this out a little bit. So,
and Allen's starting to get healthy again, right?
Right. So I think in any form of dynasty or keeper, this is super easy. It's Tank Dell because Keenan's on the back nine of his career. Redraft wise, I think I'm probably Keenan Allen as well, but it's a lot closer and it'd be a lot more roster specific for me. I'm never a big positional player kind of trade. I usually try to either strengthen my running back, wide receiver, or tight end with an area of strength, but I think I'm with you. I think it's Keenan.
Mm-hmm. Good morning, y'all. Do I start a running back or wide receiver flex? I have Barkley and Henry starting running back. Okay, easy for you.
That's pretty good.
Devontae Smith and London starting at wide receiver. That's leaves
pretty good
Mason, Moss, Bigsby, Pickens, Olave for potential flex. Okay,
that's a good roster, man.
So let's start with this. We're not changing the running backs out, right? Are you changing Pickens or Olave for either of those two wide receivers?
I'm not.
I'm really considering Olave over Devontae Smith. People can talk all the trash they want about Spencer Rattler, but the dude went out there with the backups essentially. Quarterback's going to look good doing that. I mean, he got what? Not even a quarter with Olave, right? And then not even a half. Rashid.
Yeah, that's right.
So
I don't think he got any Shaheed.
Yeah. So for me, I think I'm gonna put in Olave over Devontae Smith, and then I'm gonna flex Jordan Mason.
So Mason's my answer. Devontae Smith. Who the hell do they play? They play
Cincinnati today.
Right. So the Bengals secondary is kind of yuck.
Terrible. It's horrible.
And Devontae had one catch for -2 yards last week. So I kind of see it as a get right for him. I don't trust Pickens because I have never trusted Pickens. And I also don't trust Russ to have the same game that he had. I really like Tank, but I'm Mason here. And I do like Olave a lot, but we got to see somebody throw it to him. I think we got a super chat here as well.
Yep, we do. Just got it.
Okay.
My reasoning for Olave over Devontae is both of these guys have really the same ceiling, and I just see Olave getting more targets, and that's the only difference maker for me.
Yeah, I can't really argue any of that. I'm just not sure.
Yeah,
what to make of New Orleans right now.
Devontae Smith does have touchdown upside, though. I mean, he's got more touchdown upside than Olave.
Yeah, I like Spencer Rattler too, but I think Jalen Hurts is a better quarterback at this point. So, yeah, but it's not easy. But, man, I'll tell you what, 808 DB D013, that's a hell of a roster.
Right. You want to click on the super chat so I can keep our spot?
Sure.
Go ahead.
I don't know how to make this show on the screen, dude.
Just scroll down to it and then just click on it. It should be.
Oh, is that how it works? Gotcha.
Yep.
Sorry. There we go. All right.
Johnny,
so Johnny,
thank you, buddy.
Johnny Tutu Bear, Jalen Allen or CJ Stroud, pick 2 wide receiver. AJ Brown, D-Hop, Allen, JSN, and then pick 2 running backs. Pollard, Mason, Kamara. He has Henry as his RB1. He's flexing a running back, but would you flex a wide receiver instead? Okay, so let's start at quarterback. Pretty easy, right?
Yeah, Josh Allen.
Right. Pick 2 wide receivers between AJ Brown, D-Hop, Keenan Allen, and JSN.
AJ Brown, right? That's
Easy.
JSN. I'll go targets. Targets over.
Does D-Hop catch 10 passes for 90 yards and a score today?
What do we all? You mentioned it last week, and I think that's why we're not seeing much usage of Xavier Worthy, and that is that, and why we saw Juju come in and immediately become a factor. And I think that the Chiefs' offense is not easy to get a hold of. Yep, and that's I see D-Hop being valuable come playoff time, maybe fantasy playoff time, but real playoff time for sure. So
I do have JSN ranked the highest, so I'm going to be with you on that one.
Yeah, it's hard to start a guy just change teams. It is
even him, right?
Yep.
2 running backs between Pollard, Mason, and Kamara.
So actually it's running back and a flex. But either way, I'm going to do the same thing and also flex a running back, like he said. And it's going to be Kamara, I guess, and then Mason for me.
Yeah, me too.
Yep. Yep. None of those wide receivers can jump either of those running backs for me.
I don't think so.
They can in the future. We'll see how D-Hop gets utilized moving forward. But we saw last week, right? We said Amari Cooper wasn't going to get utilized a much, and he really didn't. He just ended up getting in the end zone. That's what really.
If he didn't have that catch, it'd have been a total waste, right?
Yeah, it'd have been an okay first game on a new team. Like it didn't like do terrible.
I just can't get away from how much I think Patrick Mahomes wants to shove it down the Raiders' throat this week. So, but I'm not willing to invest a starting spot in my. If I have no choice, I'm comfortable. Like trust me, I have D-Hop going in a bunch of lineups today because my lineups are nowhere near as this good. But with this assortment of fantasy assets, I think you're right. I'm with you. Thanks for that, Johnny.
Right. Thank you, Johnny. Guys, if you put a super chat in like Johnny, you get bumped to the front of the line. Other than that, we just go right in order in the chat. So thank you. Tucker Kraft for Mark Andrews at tight end. I'm having trouble with this one because Andrews is still only getting like 3 to 4 catches a game. So if he doesn't get TV, he'd give us like 4 points. Yeah, it's touchdown dependent, right? But so isn't Tucker Kraft. Am I not mistaken? Is Tucker Kraft really getting a lot of volume, or is he kind of just becoming fantasy relevant based on catches? Let me look here. I could be wrong.
He had a couple of big catch and runs there a couple of weeks in a row that popped him into relevance. For me, while you look that up, this is Tucker Kraft. Zay Flowers was the defining moment for me. If Zay was out, I would probably lean a little bit more Mark Andrews, but the tight end, Mark Andrews is gone from being the primary guy in that offense to an afterthought, nice add-on piece in that offense. So Lamar used to always look for Mark Andrews. Now he has Derrick Henry and he's looking for Zay Flowers, and lo and behold, Rashad Bateman looks like he has a little bit of a pulse in that offense and is looking good as well. So I just think even Isaiah Likely, although I would have Andrews over Likely, I just think there's more weapons for Lamar now, and he's just so talented he finds them. I think that Tucker Kraft, and I'm kind of talking out of both sides of my mouth because Jordan Love has a bevy of talent as well to throw to, but I just think Tucker Kraft is a wee bit safer than Mark Andrews.
Funny enough, both the last 3 games have 5-4-4 on their targets.
Yeah.
Literally the same amount of targets.
I'm Tucker Kraft just because Tucker Kraft doesn't have an Isaiah Likely like Mark Andrews does.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know if that makes any sense or not, but that's why I'm doing it.
Yeah, he doesn't, but he doesn't. He might not have Isaiah Likely, but he's also got like 3 receivers on that team that could just take away from him as well.
He does.
Where I don't know. They're both pretty even to me, so I'll just go with the guy that's been proven for a longer period of time. I'll just go with Mark Andrews.
Yeah, I have Kraft at 10 and Andrews at 14 this week, so it's not a big difference. In tight end landscape, that's like a 1.5 at the most difference between the two. So
then Cody follows up that question with CJ or Kirk at quarterback.
Ooh, that's a good one. I don't know. I'm really kind of down on CJ right now.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing the same thing from like non-mobile quarterbacks, and that's this like every year they're not consistently top of the.
There's only one, right? It's Jordan Love. It's the only non-running quarterback that I feel comfortable putting in my lineup every week. I have Kirk one spot higher than CJ. Sorry, I have CJ Stroud one spot higher than Kirk this week. I think playing the Colts helps Stroud a lot. The Colts.
Yeah, and Kirk's playing the team he put up 500 yards against. So.
Right. and Buckner is back for the Colts, so that will help them a little bit. So
yeah, I'll just go with Kirk with that info. Both got great array of weapons. You know, Kirk kind of had 2 crappy weeks in a row, so he's kind of due for a big game. He's always like that. Both these guys can be really good options this week, though.
Yep.
Pick 0.5 PPR. Chuba or Marvin. Thanks, guys. I'll go with Marvin here.
Me too. Normally in a half point or a standardish type format, I default a little bit more to the running back, but Chuba does have Denver, who I think is a formidable matchup. And I just have this, there's no statistical analysis going here. I just have this gut feel that Marvin Harrison goes kind of crazy today, like to the tune of 150-2 kind of thing. Like I could see him going off this week. We'll see.
Yeah, I'll keep him in there because I do think he needs to get more involved. But they did win last week, so again, they don't have to get people involved if they start winning. So
there could be a ton of points in that game. Hey, that Miami-Houston or Arizona game, that could be really fun.
Yeah, that could be a fun one to watch. The Patriots and Jets will not be that fun to watch, but I'm going to watch it anyway. Hey, fellas, any news on DK Metcalf set? Doubtful, but I want to be sure. Yeah, he's not. I doubt he's playing. I guess he was listed as doubtful.
I'm looking.
But it's very, very, very rare someone said as doubtful and ends up playing. So
extremely.
Yes. We've seen that very, very rarely. But I think once was this year. Wasn't it like 8 Aaron Jones was doubtful or something and he ended up playing? I don't remember. Somebody was this year. But.
5 hours ago, Rotoballers reporting that he's going to test his knee in warm-up. So you have the same situation here, right? I believe that's a later game. It is. So it's a 4:00 game as well. So you really have to have some other options. The good news is there's no bye weeks this week, right? So there's should be more options for you to choose from. But again, time isn't on your side here with the later game. And then you're looking at picking between Buffalo, Kansas City. Like not a whole lot of guys that are readily available. And if you had them on your roster, you'd probably start them and wouldn't ask this question. So, yeah, man, I hope DK goes for you. I don't think he will. I would start making plans to cover your butt.
10-man league. I had Tony Pollard, Najee, Dowdle, Josh Jacobs. I made crazy trades and waiver wire pickups.
That's awesome.
Does he have a question?
No, it must be.
Oh, he follows it up later by saying, I'm having a hard time making a trade. Wide receiver for running back. Thank you, guys. Amazing content. I'm starting BTJ. Oh, he had the BTJ question earlier. Okay.
Gotcha.
Sense.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I would definitely, with these running backs, I would definitely be looking to package 2 of them together for like a top wide receiver if you can. Find the team that's like right in the middle of the pack, 3 and 4, 4 and 3, and see if you can capitalize. Find one that has a really good running back, maybe even a decent second running back, pretty good second running back, and try and capitalize. That's when you just got to start looking at rosters and see what people need and try and appeal to that. Flex one, 1 point PPF. Oh, PPR, F and R right beside each other. Okay. Downs, Warren. Oh, Jalen Warren, Pittsburgh. Okay. Bucky Irving, Mark Andrews, Trey Palmer. It just threw me off because he only gave the team for one guy, so I was confused. Who are you going here? Man,
I think he put Pitt in there because it could have been Jayden, right? Miami versus Pittsburgh. Maybe I'm wrong. No, that's right. Never mind. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
who am I doing here? So not Downs.
Not Downs.
Probably not.
Probably
not. And it's probably not Bucky because there's three running backs that are eating each other's lunch there.
Yeah, go off.
So here's the thing. My ceiling play of the week is Trey Palmer, and my floor play of the week here would be Warren. Because Warren does get the third down work in Pittsburgh, regardless of what's going on. We've seen that when he's healthy. But I think your ceiling play here is Palmer if you're going to shoot the moon. And if you want to hedge your bets and cut your losses, Mark Andrews is probably a safe. I can't say that. I don't know.
I'm going to go with Mark Andrews, to be honest. I don't know. I just think he gets more about I don't know. This National Tight Ends Day probably got me giving bad advice, but I just feel like he's going to have a good day today.
I guess, but you just said he's had 10 targets in the last 3 weeks.
He's got 13.
I think he's at 5-4-1.
5-4-4.
Pardon me.
5-4-4.
Math is
both of them. Him and Tucker Kraft. Exactly.
Never been accused of being a mathematician.
4 last week, 4 the week before, and then 5 the week prior to that. So
all right.
They are. All right. That is limited. That is limited amount of targets, but it's like how many is Trey Palmer going to get? We don't know. We really don't.
Well, I just kind of look at this logically. Josh Downs with Richardson is just trashed. You can't. It's sad, but you can't do it. Warren is basically only your third down guy. Bucky Irving has 2 other running backs that he's going to compete with. Mark Andrews, as I went on about before, and then you have Trey Palmer and Sterling Shepard on at wide receiver for a team that probably has to throw the ball at least 40 times today. So that's why I think Palmer's the ceiling play. But it's not like Atlanta has a bad defense, right? Like their secondary is solid. Bates is good back there as the safety. Like I just think that's the ceiling, and I guess Warren's the floor. But I can't fight you on Mark Andrews. He could easily get 3 catches like he did last couple weeks ago. 3 catches, 2 touchdowns, right? So you never know.
Yeah. P.S. Thoughts on Trey Palmer long term? I really don't have too many thoughts on him long term.
I think he's a flex-worthy guy the rest of the season because we're not going to see Chris Godwin again for the rest of the season. So I think he's probably flex-worthy. Maybe a wide receiver, back-end wide receiver, 2-ish type guy while Evans is out. I'm interested to see how him and Shepard play today for sure. And don't forget, Jaden McMillan's there as well. So he could do some stuff as well.
The running backs might get a lot of work out of the backfield today. So
there's 3.
Everybody could see an uptake, but I think Rachaad White kind of benefits the most from these wide receivers being out.
Yeah, that's fair too. That's fair too. It's probably just worse for Baker than anyone, right?
Yeah. Standard league start 2: Dowdle, Bigsby, Chuba, and Dowdle, Bigsby, and Chuba Hubbard. This is Chuba and Bigsby for me, no matter what.
So for whatever it's worth, Dalvin Cook is active this week for Dallas for the first time. So that's not a glowing endorsement for Rico Dowdle or Ezekiel Elliott. So it's Bigsby and Chuba for me here as well. Good luck, Dr. Giggles. It's a good name.
Good luck. I'm having a hard time making a trade for wide receiver. Oh, yeah, that's one I already said. But, yep. Just keep trying. All you can do. What's up, guys? Oh, Johnny, he's the one that put in the super chat.
Thanks for the super chat. We got it. Thanks, Johnny.
And then Pedro comes back. Daniels or Kyler Murray? Jayden Daniels or Kyler Murray?
Daniels. And I read this as Daniel Jones again. I don't know what's wrong with me.
Yeah, I hate Daniel Jones.
I need him to retire so I can get that out of my head. With the news that I think Daniels is going to play, I readjusted my rankings this morning. And
then you say Marvin's going to have 150-2.
Yep.
So Kyler's going to go off as well. Oh man, I'll go Kyler. I'll go Kyler. If Daniels was healthy, it would be Daniels for me. But I really do think they sit him back and let him just throw it.
I have Daniel. I moved Daniels to 6 and Kyler's at 10. So it's not a big difference, and I understand the question. Kyler's probably the safer play, right? Like Daniels could easily roll out and take a shot and be done. So like that could very easily happen. And if I'm a Bear defender and I see that quarterback coming to me, I'm taking a shot at his ribs, and I have no problem saying that. Like, why wouldn't you? Mm-hmm. So
yeah, that's where
Kyler's probably
him, right. You're supposed to hit him right there in the ribs.
Can't hit him can't go high, can't go low. That's where you hit. That's right. Kyler's probably safer, but like I said before, Daniels is in.
I play all super flex, so I got both of them in my lineup, and that's why it's like Kirk
hard to sit 2 guys I have in my top 10.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins was my only other one that I considered. You start Taylor anytime he's playing. Harrison. Oh, okay. Harry can be benched for one.
Yeah, so he agrees with us.
Yeah. That's what I thought. Yeah, Harrison's a really nice buy now if you're trying to rebuild. If you get some veteran pieces and you see he's on a contending roster.
I think he's even a good buy now in redraft. I think he has a better second half. Most rookies have better come on towards the end of the year.
Yep. He's just a risky buy in redraft unless you're like
I don't know. I don't think I agree that Lab McConkey's a better start than Marvin Harrison Jr., but I understand what you're saying for sure.
I would not start Bateman over Harrison. Bateman kind of gets lucky on those broken plays.
I think that the point here about getting off of big names and starting guys that score points is incredibly relevant. But let's be realistic. Rashad Bateman has done basically nothing until the last 2 weeks. So let's not totally discount.
And they were off broken plays, which is, Lamar can do that, of course, but it's like this is not something you want to bank. You want to bank.
I loved that long touchdown pass to Bateman. It was such a good throw.
Yep. Burrow or Stroud? Oh, he asked us in the super. Or no, he didn't. He did not ask us in the super chat. So Burrow. No,
he was Allen or Stroud in the.
Yeah, this is Burrow. This is Burrow for me.
Burrow for me as well. Yeah.
Dylan, you're East. Jay McMillan or Ricky Pearsall? This is Ricky Pearsall for me.
Yeah, I like them both, but I don't like them both at the same time. I like the idea of them both. That I'd like to think they're both going to have a big uptick here. Ricky Pearsall was awesome at Florida, and it wasn't like McMillan was bad in Washington, so you don't really have much to go off of here. But that same gut feel that has a feeling that Marvin Harrison has a big week has the same feeling about Ricky Pearsall. So I'm going to be with my friend Bryce here and go Pearsall.
Yeah, I think he's a really good route runner too,
and he's got stupid good hands.
Marv or Pollard at flex with Tyjae Spears out?
I'm Harrison here. Tennessee's a little dysfunctional and broken. I do like Tony Pollard this week, especially with Tyjae Spears on the sideline. But like I said, I have no statistical data. This is not groundbreaking analysis. This is my gut telling me that Marvin Harrison has a big game today.
Yeah, you could certainly chalk this up to floor and ceiling.
Yeah.
With Marv as the obvious ceiling option and Pollard as the floor. I sometimes like to go the safer route, depending. There's a lot of variables, but I'll go with the safer route and go with Pollard here. Marv's just been too inconsistent for me to.
Yep, I have no problem with that at all. And who knows? Maybe you played against Cup and Jefferson and you need a ceiling, then I would go Harrison.
Yeah, exactly. If you're an underdog, I'd go Marvin. If you're an underdog in this matchup, I'd go Marvin for sure. But if it's like kind of even or you're favored, I'd go Pollard.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yep. I hate trade questions. Everybody values somebody different. Trades depend on your team and multiple factors. Yeah, of course. There's so many things.
We overvalue our own players.
Yes. One good thing to do, it's hard for us to do it right here, but and there's a lot of context needed. But if you join our Facebook page, you can put polls up, and you put with your poll, maybe the context of your team, what your record is, what type of league it is, and things like that. And you give people as much information as possible. It's going to help people give you a more accurate representation or accurate answer of what you should do or things like that. Because a trade that might seem uneven in a vacuum might seem fine because it improves your starting lineup or something like that. Because you have a ton of depth. So it's like some of these players you're giving away aren't even adding value to your weekly lineup, but if they were, then it'd be different. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of factors in who's on your bench, who's starting for you, your record, things like that. I always take trade, especially in redraft. I like to take trades that give me a better starting lineup, whether I'm giving more players or more overall value per se. Where in Dynasty, it's different. Depth's a little bit more important. Things like that. Whether you're contending, rebuilding, there's just so many variables, which makes Dynasty way more fun for me, of course, because you're never out of it. Like your season never ends until the playoffs start for the league or until the trade deadline's over, essentially. So that's why I like Dynasty.
You beat me last week, hey? You thumped us.
I know, and you're right. My team does not put up many points, but other teams just seem to shit the bed. It's like I'm playing defense. It's like my team's playing defense. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I just was laughing. I was laughing because you had two dudes put up zeros, didn't you?
Yeah, Debo and
Juju.
Nice.
Yeah.
was laughing when I saw that. It was like, nice.
I was like, oh my gosh, my team. So I did make a trade in that. Did you see I made another trade in that league?
I did. You're a good trader in that league. I like it.
Yeah. He wanted Michael Penix Jr. I was like,
I got to get out of that league.
Yeah. Or just take over your team. Ooh.
Yeah, trade questions are really hard because it is such a vacuum. You're so right.
Kamara, Connor, or Garrett at the flex? It's not that hard for me. It's got to be Kamara. Yeah. I did expect him to have a crappy game last week, which he did.
Interesting. He said he's playing with a broken hand, hey?
Yeah, it must be a hand. I mean,
like it's pretty impressive. Like
I've broken my hand. I've broken my hand a couple of times, and both times I didn't get it fixed. Well, the first time I didn't get it fixed for like 8 weeks, and the next time I still haven't got it fixed. It's still like you can kind of see the lump, right?
And would you
right there? That's
if you could do it all over again, would you have got it taken care of?
Yeah, well, it depends. I wouldn't miss my paycheck if I was making as much as them on Sundays. No, that's the reason I didn't get it fixed is I had to work, essentially, and it sucks. It sucks and it hurts a little bit more. But honestly, like, it would probably hinder my catch ability. But it's like I could probably catch little passes out of the backfield. In reality, I just wouldn't be going on hard routes and things like that. It would definitely hinder it. Fair. So, just a little bit more pain, but they get shots to.
That's true too.
Who did the Saints play today?
I know the answer, but I don't at the same time. Hang on.
Oh, we were talking about somebody giving up being soft against a run in a question earlier.
I know the answer. Somebody, if the chat wants to answer it, go ahead. But I already know the answer. I just can't think of it.
He said he is scared for Kamara, but I can't bench him. He was
Chargers.
Yeah, a little bit tougher matchup. But Kamara has so much. He's got so much PPR value. In the last week, we saw him suck essentially because there was nobody else to throw the ball to. So all that other team had to do, all the Broncos had to do, was stop Kamara, and they were going to be able to beat the Saints. Today, at least Olave's back, so that's going to help a lot. Take a lot of pressure off him, which might even help him see more receptions and targets out of the backfield today. You going Kamara here?
I am going Kamara here, and I totally get what Matt's saying. And Matt's in here every week, so thanks for being here, Matt. Appreciate that.
Sweet profile picture, too.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but we're there.
PPR. Tucker Craft? I don't know who this is.
Coppercraft.
Do we have another one? Oh, Tucker Craft. He said he put it later. Sorry, fellas. I was speaking of Tucker Craft or Noah Fant earlier. Okay, so even the one from earlier was Tucker Craft or Noah Fant.
Oh, not Tucker or whatever?
Yeah, it wasn't.
Tyler Franks.
Tyler Franks.
The best autocorrect ever.
So are you putting Tucker Craft in over Noah Fant?
Yes, without question.
Even, man, I don't know. Today is the day I think Noah Fant sees a lot of targets.
But they're both tight ends, so you can't use the National Tight Ends Day as your excuse.
I know. I'm using the DK Metcalf not playing as my excuse.
I think that's legit, but I just think Tucker Craft's a better player, and he's got a better quarterback.
Yeah, it's probably going to help Tyler Lockett more, I guess, probably than anybody. I will go Tucker Craft as well from earlier. And then this one, are you taking Jerry Jeudy over Tucker Craft?
Nope. I'm going to stick with Coppercraft and Tyler Franks over Jerry Jeudy. No, I just don't know what to think about Cleveland. I definitely think they're better with Jameis Winston, which sounds kind of weird. But I like Tucker Craft this week. I just think between him and Jeudy, maybe. You tell me. What are you doing?
I don't know. I just like the targets is what's going to have me questioning my thing here. If this is a tight end premium, I would definitely go Kraft, but I doubt it is. So I'll go Jerry Jeudy and think that Jameis gives some value. It's one of these Browns wide receivers, and if I had to guess which one it'd be Jerry Jeudy. Yep, that's what I'll do.
I just looked at my rankings. I would in my flex rankings, I have Jerry Jeudy 8 spots higher than Tucker Craft, so I'm with you. I don't like it.
But it's tight end premium, probably switching, right?
Yeah, no doubt.
Yep. Good morning, gentlemen. Johnny did say thanks, guys, but we answered this super chat. It's been a while.
Always thanks. Always
no problem. Good morning, gentlemen. Happy Sunday. Snag Tua off waivers. Should he start him over Dak today?
Tua?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, I am.
I think so.
Can't believe somebody wouldn't just sit him on their IR like I did.
Yeah, some leagues don't have IR spots, right? Could be redraft, right?
Even redraft leagues nowadays have IR. That's the one I have.
Maybe one or two, but I still play in some old school home leagues that don't standard scoring. 2 running back, 2 red receivers.
Standard.
Flex
I would refuse the standard.
It's like watching paint dry, but I still have one of those leagues. I do have Tua ranked higher than Dak. I have Dak down at 19 this week.
Yeah, I think Tua, is set up for a good week. I think he comes back and just lights it up. I think Tyreek Hill's going to get a couple of deep ball shots today. He's going to catch
Does Waddle come back to life today?
Yep, 100%.
I think he just has to get that offense going, right? It's been so dysfunctional with him.
I just saw a trade in one of my leagues where Waddle went for way too cheap, and I'm just like, I wish I would have went after him. But it's that league. I've got DJ Moore on my bench. It's like I don't really need him, but I would have everybody. I probably would have sent it next year first. I had 2 first I'm sorry, not next year, but the year after. I got 2 2026 first. I would have sent one of those for him. I bet he would have accepted it.
I got offered.
Too late now.
I can't remember. I'll have to look at what it is. When we catch up, I'll talk to you about it. I got one of those offers. It was like, and I accepted it right out of the gate. And I was like, am I missing something here? But
sometimes it does come in. Those are nice.
Yeah.
No problem, Cody. And then Elton Z asked Cook or Connor.
James or Dalvin? I think the answer is Connor.
It's got to be James. It's got to be James. Now I don't think people are asking Dalvin yet, right? This has got to be James Conner for me.
It is either way for me.
Chuba or Olave in full PPR. I will go with Olave.
I think we had this before, and I was flip-flopping.
I don't think we had this one.
No.
Maybe it was like a part of like a bigger question of like pick a like multiple, and then these were options.
I'm a little concerned about. Sorry, I just found that trade and started to laugh again. Hubbard. I'm a little concerned with Hubbard this week against Denver, so I will go Olave here as well. PPR helps a lot because Chuba doesn't catch too many passes. So.
Yep. Yeah, and Spencer Rattler did say he's going to get Olave involved. He did, but it just broke his noggin, so wouldn't he play the whole game?
Yeah.
Full PPR need one. Ladd, Downs, Franklin. We had one of our first questions today. I think had all these guys, and I went with Franklin.
And I went with Ladd, so I'll stay there.
No, you went with the guy that wasn't on this list, Judy or something, didn't you?
No,
or somebody. I don't think you went with
Ladd. Is that fly still flying around your house?
Yes. What was the very first question? Go scroll up. And what was the very first question? I think you went with like the guy that wasn't on the list on this list.
It was Ladd, Downs, and Franklin, and I went with Ladd because I don't trust Downs, and you went with Franklin.
Yeah, 2 different guys asking the same question. What are the odds?
Making a liar out of me.
I know. Maybe I misspoke.
It's the worst though when you're like, oh yeah, I'm going with this guy, and then 5 questions later you go with the other guy, and people are like, what are you doing? It's easy to forget this shit.
Chuba's in a lot today. Darnell or Chuba?
I like Mooney, man. He just had his best game of maybe his life the last time these 2 teams played each other. And like I've said a ton of times, I'm really concerned about Chuba with arguably the only starting quarterback worse than Anthony Richardson going today for Carolina and playing Denver. So I'm worried. So
yeah, I agree. I'll go with Darnell. The Panthers today could easily not score a single point. I mean, Bryce Young's back in. There's no best receiver. Terrible situation for the poor guy.
Deontay Johnson's out too, hey?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The best receiver's out. And I know Adam Thielen, so he's literally got Xavier Leggett. And
maybe Bryce is like, baby Bryce just like, you know what, F this, and just fires 40 passes to Leggett today.
He could. Or Mingo and Sanders, yeah.
Why not?
So, yeah. Darnell for me. PPR, pick 2. DJ Moore, Scary Terry, Tank Dell, and Brian Thomas Jr. Which 2 are you picking?
This was easy until the last guy came on the list.
Yeah. It's DJ Moore and BTJ for me.
Same. But it was going to be –
Scary Terry doesn't – I say that quickly, but Scary Terry doesn't deserve to just like be ignored like that. He is on kind of a tear himself. But
what if Daniels starts? Does it change your mind?
I'm saying that with Daniels starting. So if he doesn't, it makes it even easier. If he doesn't, it makes it way easier for me.
Right, but the Bears have the best pass defense in football right now, right? So I think, although I don't know if Kyler Gordon's playing today, but I don't think it matters. I think I'm still DJ Moore and.
Well, isn't Jalen Johnson their best anyway?
Yeah, Yeah, but they can't cover it. Yeah, you're right. It's BTJ and DJ Moore.
Yeah, that just makes it a little bit easier for me. That the point you just made with the Bears being the opponent.
They're legit.
I feel like that game's gonna be low scoring.
Vikings are going to go from first to last in that division in the span of a week.
I know that call was pretty brutally missed, but it's also who knows. There's a lot of things that had to happen for that game to go into overtime. But
we should never have put ourselves in that situation. You look at how we play when the play calls are scripted. We look like the best team in football history, and then just run the damn plays you scripted in the first half. I don't understand it, but that call was beyond ridiculous, and the fact that you can't review that is beyond ridiculous. But even without that call, I don't think the Vikings are marching down the field and scoring and then getting a 2-point conversion. So I think it's magnified. The other thing too is those island games, those Thursday and Monday night games, everything gets magnified, right? There's probably 4 of those a week on Sunday at 1:00 that nobody even notices. So yeah, whatever. But it was frustrating. I was more pissed off about our loss the week before than.
Yeah, it looked like it was just really bad timing because it looked like if you kind of looked at both refs, the kind of the vision or whatever, it looked like there was an offensive lineman right in their way, so they couldn't see that. It's not I don't think they missed it on purpose or whatever. It just looked like it was they couldn't see. They literally did not see it happen. But it's at some point they could use replay assists for everything. It's can we not use it for some super obvious call, almost
and it doesn't slow the game down, right? It would have taken 2 seconds for somebody to buzz in and go, they just about tore his head off.
The guy knew he did it. He went like this afterwards. He put his freaking hands in his. He didn't do that as a celebration. He did that because he thought he knew that was a face mask. He just.
And then I guess what makes it even worse. What makes it even worse is it was a safety. It wasn't just a sack, right? So it was just
true.
Good God. Anyway.
Mooney or Shakir? Mooney.
I like Shakir though, but Mooney.
Yeah, I like both of these options. Kind of similar options in reality. Mooney for me as well. I kind of like Amari Cooper being there for Shakir, to be honest.
I do too. I hope it's good for Kincaid as well.
Yep. Appreciate all the help. Sorry for so many questions. You don't ever have to ask or say sorry for having too many questions. That's what we're here.
That's what we're here for.
Keeps us busy.
Whether it's Copper Craft or Tyler Franks.
Honestly, I kind of like trying to figure out who you're talking about. So keep misspelling names so we can figure it out.
It's jumbled in fantasy.
The Tyler Franks had us what? Green Bay tight end. I was like, there's no way he spelled Tucker Craft that wrong.
Who the hell is Tyler Franks? That was fun.
It was. Do I keep Kendre Miller or drop him for Green Bay D? I got Chicago D, and they're worrying me against Daniels. Thanks, guys. I'm okay with the Chicago defense today. I don't know. I mean, Green Bay's defense. They play. Did they play Miami today? Is that who they play?
They played Jacksonville.
That's not really a great matchup for them either. Jacksonville might kind of let some sacks up, but they can kind of score relatively. They seem like they can score relatively easily sometimes. I don't know. They're inconsistent, I will say. But Chicago's D today, I think, can get back there. Today. And I feel like if Daniels even starts to wince a little bit, they could take him out and throw in Mariota to keep him safe and healthy. So I'd keep Kendre Miller on there because he's Alvin Kamara is a small injury away from him being really, really valuable because he was the best looking running back this last Thursday. He came in and actually ran really, really hard. So
despite his coach hating him, he's pretty good. I'm starting the Bears over Green Bay. I have them ranked about 10 spots higher. Bears are my 10th ranked. Packers are my 19th ranked. T-Law doesn't take a lot of sacks, and he doesn't turn the ball over a ton either. So it's hard to get fantasy points against the team, even if you shut them out, if you're not going to get sacks and turnovers. So I like the Bears.
Me too. Running back buy lows or highs, rest of the season and playoffs.
Strength of schedule?
Yeah. I haven't really paid too much attention to strength of schedule this year, to be honest.
I don't usually ever.
Probably something I should look at a little bit, maybe in redraft leagues. I don't really pay too much attention to it in Dynasty.
I think if you have a good record, go try to get Christian McCaffrey off a guy who might not, especially redraft. Mm-hmm. Target guys like Isaiah Pacheco who might come back late in the season because you got to get him dirt cheap. I'm trying to think of someone who's a buy high. Probably Jonathan Taylor right about now, because he's coming back and looking good. Like rest of the season.
I
don't think buying high makes sense. Rest of the season, Saquon Barkley is a buy high. Breece Hall's a crazy buy high. I'm trying to think of buy lows.
You could try for Nick Chubb, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm gonna probably feed him until his wheels fall off. I think he wants to end his career there for sure.
You could maybe check in on Devon Achane.
I would look at Ramondre, honestly, as a buy low. Demario Douglas also is a buy low, and maybe deeper rosters that are starting. I think he was sick last week. I was wondering what happened to him. He was sick.
Who was that?
Demario Douglas. Remember, I was like, why is he not on the field? He was sick.
Oh, right. He was.
Yeah, it's illness. You get sick in the middle of the game?
Well, guys get sick, dude. What do you want?
Yeah, in the middle of a freaking football game? Give that man a shot.
Anybody gets sick at any time.
I guess. Marvin Harrison, buy low right now as well. There's a ton of guys. This would be a good one to put on the Facebook page and see what you get.
James
Cook.
A
lot better.
I think James Cook is a good buy low running back target right now because he's kind of battling a toe injury and Ray Davis has kind of come on a little bit. But Brian Robinson Jr., he gets totally overlooked. He's a solid running back. I'm just looking at my rankings to get names here.
Etienne could be a buy low that might not
be.
That could have a decent little. I don't really trust him too much, but it depends what his price is.
I think Tyrone Tracy's a good target too because I think he takes over that eventually. So there's lots.
He's a nice buy dynasty for sure. Tyrone is. Yeah, I don't know. Cedric Tillman could also be a nice little buy low right now. You can buy him right now.
He's more referring to running backs here, but I agree. That's
running backs.
A legit Cedric Tillman all of a sudden is like,
Yeah.
How do I have no shares of this guy?
Yeah, I'm just thinking of guys that may be overlooked. Ramondre, James Conner. Those are kind of the top two I think would be overlooked that could have value rest of the season for you.
I think if you can pick the right Tampa guy between Tucker, Irving, and White, it's good luck there. Alexander Madison, if you're desperate.
Yeah, you had to be real desperate.
David Montgomery I don't think anybody's selling him low, but
no.
Scores a touchdown every flipping week.
Yeah, I have to bench him in the league. It's either him or Jonathan Taylor. I don't know who to bench.
I think you answered your own question.
Yeah, that's a hard one though, isn't it? It's a good problem to have, but that's a hard one.
Make a trade, dude.
My wide receivers are like AJ Brown, the league neighbors.
Who's your quarterback?
Quarterbacks are Joe Burrow, Matt Stafford. So I could do a quarterback.
Never mind.
Yeah. So Justin Fields. I did reach out for the guy that has Drake May, but he hasn't got back to me yet. I don't think he will. He's tanking, so wouldn't make real too much sense for him.
Fair.
But I'd send him maybe Jonathan Taylor for him because then I just put in David Montgomery and then boom. Yeah. My top two running backs are Henry and Barkley in that one, so don't have to worry too much in that one. Don't have any draft capital though. All right. Jake Ferguson or Cedric Tillman for a final flex spot? Ooh,
that's a good question.
Yeah,
I think it's probably Ferguson. I think it's probably, but I think so. I'll look at my flex rankings. You go ahead and answer this one if you want.
I'm going Jake Ferguson. Yeah. Dak Prescott loves tight ends.
It's Ferguson.
Loves him. He does.
Yeah, it's Ferguson.
It doesn't even matter if they're that good. I mean, we saw Dalton Schultz doesn't really do anything nowadays.
Right.
Kyle Pitts going to Dallas would be probably a dream come true, I think, next season.
I'm just not sure Kyle Pitts is.
I don't think you have to be that good to be good in Dallas, though. That's the crazy thing.
Dallas is about to crater, I think.
Mooney or Marv? This is Mooney for me.
Marv for me. Big day. 10 catches, 12 targets.
I'm just going to send you a text at halftime. He's got one catch for 8 yards.
12 targets, 10 catches, 150 yards, and 2 scores.
Good morning, everyone. What's up, Marco?
Good to see you, man.
Justice Hill, Sermon, or Sean Tucker? This is Sean Tucker.
I think it's Hill for me. I think he'll just get some passing down work so that he can be relevant, and he's scored a little bit here and there. Sermon with Taylor coming back, I think, is almost irrelevant.
Yep.
And I do like Sean Tucker, but there's just two other guys there. And with Bucky Irving active this week, I'm going to have to lean towards Justice Hill.
Knicks, Rodgers, or Dak? Start one.
Knicks. Top 10 quarterback for me this week.
I can't imagine Dak doesn't just what is he known for? Playing shitty, then friggin' lighting it up the next week. I'll take Dak.
Yeah, I think if you had the time to look up what quarterbacks have done to Carolina this year, you might change your mind. But
I've got Nick starting a lot today, and I've actually got him in a league where
I have Nick's at 11.
I have him over Jayden Daniels right now, and I'll be honest, I'm not super comfortable replacing him for.
I have Nick's over Stroud. I have him over Cousins. I have him over Baker. I have him over Tua. I have him over Goff. I have him over Patrick Mahomes. Like, I have him over a lot of guys, but I have him at 11.
We appreciate you, Michael.
Right back at you, man. Thank you.
Seth Temple says, morning, guys. If DK Metcalf is out, which it looks like he's going to be, would you guys use JSN or Malik Neighbors?
I think Neighbors based on volume.
Yeah, Neighbors for me as well. I don't think Neighbors is ever a sit. I mean, you have to be really, really deep for me to sit him.
What, do you have his worst week of the year last
he
year?
He had like 9 points or something. Yeah, he had a lot of targets. He had a lot of targets.
80 yards or something.
It is non-PPR, which does change it a little bit, actually.
Does it? That hurts JSN, doesn't it? Isn't Neighbors going to get more yards than JSN?
Yeah, but when I look at non-PPR, I also look at touchdown upside a little bit heavier.
Yeah,
and
that's fair.
JSN does have that. I'm still going to go with Malik Neighbors, though. I'll just go, the touchdown is a little bit harder to get than the yards, right, for these guys. So Malik Neighbors probably does beat him in yards, more likely. But it does make it closer for me. Okay. I like both of these options today.
Yep.
For running back 2, Chuba or Nick Chubb? It's Nick Chubb for me. Both not good matchups. Both terrible matchups, actually.
The Browns.
We just saw the Browns got the Ravens.
Yeah,
and Chuba's got the Broncos, which we just saw what they did to Alvin Kamara last week on a team that doesn't have anybody to throw the ball to. Chuba Hubbard's in for some tough sledding today. I'll go with Nick Chubb.
I have Chuba ranked higher. I'll go with Chuba. I agree with Bryce. So these are two nasty matchups. Hopefully one of them falls in the end zone. The guy you start with the ball, that is.
I got Jacobs and Robinson Jr. as my running backs this week. I got Hubbard on my bench this week due to Denver's D. Should I pick up another D this week due to have Denver's D? Should I pick up another D and play Hubbard? My flex is tanked out.
Okay, so let's a little bit to unpack here. So Jacobs and Robinson Jr. is his running backs. We both agree with that, right?
Yeah, it sounds like he has Chuba as a potential flex option, but he doesn't want to play his running back against his own defense, is what I'm kind of getting out of this. That's why it's like, do I pick up another D and play Hubbard? So it sounds like he doesn't want to play another player against his own defense. That's what I'm getting out of this.
I get you.
Or did you just keep tanking the flex?
I would.
That's what I would do too. And honestly, I don't have a problem playing a player against my own defense.
Neither do I.
Defense. Because what would they score? What if they get 100 yards and a touchdown? Right. That's not really that many negative points against your defense, especially if your defense finds a way to get a couple of sacks to negate
and
that.
A pick. Right.
Right. So that doesn't bother me too much. I pick my defenses based on almost always based on how many sacks, interceptions they can get.
The only time I have pause, it's when it's my quarterback against my own defense, against the defense. That's because if that defense is going to have a good game, my quarterback probably isn't, right? So that's the only time that I get a little bit concerned. But for the most part, I'm streaming D's 99% of the time anyway, so it rarely happens. But I understand what you're saying. But yeah, stick with Tank. I think it's a good spot.
Green Bay or Detroit defense? Thanks, guys.
Oh, let's go to my world-renowned defensive rankings. Detroit at 5, Green Bay at 19. So
who does Detroit have today?
Tennessee and Mason Rudolph and no wide receivers. And
Detroit, please. Detroit, please. Not even that good of an offensive line either.
No.
Any word on Debo playing or not? There's not really much. Not much word on it. But we're not seeing a lot of players miss games because of illness. Like we don't see that very often, especially when it's reported days before.
It was like Rappaport or Scheffner that tweeted late last night that he was trending towards playing. Those guys don't usually make mistakes. So let me see if I can find it real quick.
I saw on the NFL's web app or something when I looked up inactives this morning that he was likely to play, or like trending in the right direction. So then they usually go off those two guys' reports. While you're doing that, Otten or Kincaid, good one. And then Raheem Mostert or Chuba Hubbard, full PPR. Thank you. I'm going to go with the guy I think gets the most targets, and that's Cade Otton. I don't like it.
I think I might have him ranked higher, and I don't know if I do or not. And I love Kincaid.
He's been kind of quietly pretty decent this year too.
I do have Otton higher, and I think it's based on my projections.
Yep.
So I will take Otton, and I will take Chuba Hubbard. Just too many split pieces there in Miami.
Yeah, Chuba's going to get touches, right? We got to go based on touches here. Raheem could see the end zone on very limited touches today, which is nice.
The only shitty part is Mostert did score 21 times last year, so he could be the guy that just bangs 2 in. He could have 6 carries for 8 yards and 2 touchdowns, right? But
but it was last year's a little different. Mostert came in as a starter, and Devon Achane was like playing that change of pace role kind of. But then they were switching, But now Mostert's not the starter, so do they do that same type of? Because they're not. It's not like he's like a brute back, right? So they could it could be the opposite this year moving forward with Achane in there. And Chuba could see some PPR work today with nobody else to throw the ball to. So that's also the main reason I'm going to go to him. We don't see what's his name checking down too much to the running backs. Devon Achane gets work in the pass game because it's literally passes where he's the first option. So
right. So it was Rappaport that tweeted this 10 hours ago that the 49ers wide receiver Deebo Samuel, who has a wrist injury and an illness, and George Kittle, who's battling a foot injury, both who are questionable, are expected to play today, according to his sources. He's almost never wrong. The only worry I have is what amount of volume does Deebo, like snap percentage, right? So the guy had pneumonia and was in the hospital like on Monday. So it's tough.
But that's because they get him in there. They get him in there to get him healthy as quick as possible with IVs and things.
That's like true. So, a little different than you and I going and sitting in the ER for 14 hours before we get in to see a doctor.
Debo's going to get first dibs in there.
A little bit.
I like how when questions can help transition to the next one because we were just talking about Achane and Dobbins. Achane. I think all the Miami players go back to their preseason value. With Tua back in there, I don't think we really realize how valuable he is to that team as a passer. Dude's a super, super accurate passer. Just can't get hit in the head or he literally starts seizing up. So,
Dobbins.
And he's not wearing a Guardians cap, but he did change his helmet, apparently. He's changing to a safer helmet. I don't know what that consists of.
I get the whole head injury and stuff, but that Guardians cap is weird, dude.
Yeah, it looks goofy, but it's like it does look goofy, but
why doesn't Tua have a Guardians cap on?
They asked him that. He said he's not wearing one. Personal reasons, he said. Personal reasons.
Okay.
It probably would help him in the sense of, you got to think, he shouldn't be getting hit in the head very often as a quarterback. I mean.
Well, and the last one, the one that he's just coming back from, didn't even hit his head.
Yeah. He must be susceptible to concussions more.
They say once you get one, you're more likely to get another. So, and he's had 4 that we know of. So, hopefully that's the last one.
High school and college and things like that.
Yeah, right.
Do I risk starting Jayden Daniels over CJ Stroud?
Yep. If he's active, you do.
Yeah, if he's active, you do. I think
they're both early games, right? They're both early games, I think.
Would you flex Njoku over Mooney? No, I would not. Good afternoon. 12-team half PPR. Start 2. Waddle, DJ Moore, Chubb, and McMillan.
First 2.
Yep. DJ Moore and Waddle for me. It does make it a little bit closer with the half PPR, but Nick Chubb's got a tough matchup today. He's still coming back, so he's not going to get a full workload, I don't think. He's good. I don't know. Dude's a freak. But I'll take Waddle with Tua back. If it wasn't Tua, it would be DJ Moore and Chubb. I will say that, but it's Tua now, so it's Waddle and DJ Moore for me.
Yep.
Half PPR, Goff, Tua, Cousins. Tua. Goff is missing a big playmaker. Jameson Williams is that guy that could take a 60-yarder to the house.
Yeah, but look up his targets and how much he's done in the last little while.
Yeah, but he still scores a touchdown, it seems like, every other freaking week, or gets like an 80-yard pass. I don't know. I don't mind Jared Goff, but they just, like, when they get in the red zone, they like to run the ball. So
I have Cousins ranked highest. I haven't ranked Cousins Tua Goff.
Mine would be Tua Cousins Goff. So
I think Goff just doesn't throw the ball enough because he doesn't have to, right? He goes 18 for 19 every week. And his running backs go crazy. That team's so good.
Yep. Achane or Javonte Williams?
Achane
for me as well. I do like Javonte today against the Panthers, though. We never have to question what team plays against the Panthers. It seems like we get a lot of questions with those players.
Right?
Yeah. Kincaid or Henry? And Nix or Kyler? It's Henry.
So you're bang. You were bang on. You were bang on. I was watching that and I'm like, damn, he's right.
I'm like, I told you, Henry's got like top 5 value moving forward with May. I don't know what it is. He had it with Mac Jones too. It was like every guy except it's like everybody but except Mac, and like Bailey Zappi, he didn't really do much. With Brissett, he wasn't really doing much. But man, with May and Mac Jones, they love to throw it in the middle of the field to this big dude, and Henry's making some sweet catches too.
I have Hunter Henry ranked 1 spot ahead of Kincaid this week.
Yeah. I think Hunter Henry, that's a good buy low on tight end. I feel like another guy I feel like all the Patriot players, people just like kind of pushing off to the side. Maybe May's getting a little bit of traction, especially in the dynasty world for sure. But Hunter Henry, I just sold him in a trade, or maybe I didn't. But I put him out there and got some nibbles on a team I'm trying to rebuild and send him away. I'm like, you just give me a late second round pick if you're going to be a good contending team. It's a tight end premium league. This guy might get you 15 plus every week moving forward.
Shit, no doubt.
Maybe not today. Today's a tough matchup, but
I have Bo Nix over Kyler Murray this week too, which feels weird, but I'm sticking with it.
Yeah, I'll stick. I think I picked Kyler earlier, so I'll pick Kyler again. 2 weeks in a row, big rushing touchdown. So let's hope he can keep that kind of pace going. They're much better when he runs the ball, too.
Yep.
Flex spot PPR, Chase Brown, McMillan, or Olave? This is easily Olave for me.
I think so as well.
Yeah. Easily Olave.
I get it. Why people
Chase Brown finds the end zone. Chase Brown finds the end zone today against his brother, but I'd still go Olave.
I think I understand why people are a little apprehensive when it comes to Chris Olave coming back from concussion and not exactly heavily involved this year, but that dude is really good. So I think it's got to be Olave as well.
Half PPR with Higgins out. Do I start Worthy, Chubb, or Mooney?
I'm Mooney here.
I am too. Yeah. Flex.
I don't know what to think about Chubb yet.
Yeah, I don't mind Chubb. I like him. I just don't like him this week. Worthy, I think, is like the only reason I think he's struggling right now, and he could be also a nice little buy low, is I think you hit it. You kind of brought that attention to me. It's like people don't really come to the Chiefs and play well right away. It takes them a while, and maybe we're going to see that with Worthy here the next like 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah, same as Rashee Rice last year, right?
Yep. And we saw that, and that's why I think Juju came in and started off pretty hot, and I think he would have had a good game last week if he was healthy, but he got hurt early.
At any point when you were watching Juju 2 weeks ago catch 10 passes for like 130 yards and a touchdown, and he dropped another one, did it ever think to yourself, how did this guy not make the Patriots? Like, how could he not get on the field for New England and then he goes to Kansas City and does that? Like, how's that even possible? Was it just his? Is he?
I'm pissed off that we
sure.
I'm pissed off that we
sure.
let Jacoby Myers go, and then
that's
the main issue. But I think it's just like I think the offensive coordinators just didn't know what they were doing. I don't think Mac Jones is a bad quarterback. I don't think he's a guy that's ever going to take a team far. But I think he is a good guy to be a potential bridge quarterback, a very, very solid backup quarterback. But with that being said, with the way he looked on New England, he looked like he shouldn't be in the league, right? So I think that hurts that was because of the offensive coordinators. Because year one, he looked great with Josh McDaniels. And ever since then,
I think if you took Mac Jones and put him in Minnesota, and he would do just as good as what Sam Darnold's been doing.
Yeah. I don't think he'd do much worse. Yeah, I think he would. I still stand on. I think if you put him in San Fran, I don't think he does much worse than Brock Purdy. I really don't.
I don't disagree with that either.
No. Flex full PPR, Ladd or Bigsby? I'll go Bigsby here.
Me too. I think it's just a safer road to touches and production. So
this next one's interesting. We haven't really talked about either of these guys today. Swift or Jacobs?
Swift
for me as well. And I don't even think he's a better running back.
I don't think it matters anymore. It's just he's kind of ever since I told him everybody he was a piece of crap, he decided to tell me I was a piece of crap. So yeah.
Njoku or Ingram? Ingram for me.
I have Njoku ranked higher, but I think you're flipping a coin here.
Yeah. I would
think they're both excellent starts this week.
And one more. Dak or Geno? Dak for me.
Geno for me.
If DK Metcalf was playing, it'd be Geno.
Yeah. I just don't know what's going on. Although Dallas is coming off a bye, and they're notoriously pretty good at that, but they're a mess.
Ooh, this is rough. Odunze versus Bateman. And 2 QB, sit 1. Nick's Geno Cousins. I'm sitting Geno. And then, running back, wide receiver, I guess I got to go Bateman. Yeah.
I think it's Bateman. Sit 1. Nick's Geno Cousins. I'm sitting, I want to say Geno? Yeah.
Yep, sitting the same one. All right. Mr. Scampers.
Hey, Mr. Scampers. Coolest cat in the world.
We're almost caught up. Need one running back and 2 flex. Olave, Hopkins, Keenan Allen, McConkey, Bucky, Irving, Ramondre. I have Ramondre, Olave, Hopkins in right now.
One running back. So my running back choices are what? Bucky or Ramondre?
Yeah, it's Ramondre.
Ramondre.
Bad matchup, though, I will say.
Bad foot, too.
Yeah.
2 other guys.
Olave is easy for me as well.
Yep.
But the second option, I am not taking Hopkins. I am going to take Keenan Allen.
Yeah. I don't want to look at my rankings. I'm just going to go off my top of my head. I'm just going to play I like the DeAndre Hopkins narrative here. So.
Okay, that's fair. You did say Patrick Mahomes is going to go off today, so with that being said, I can't.
I think he's going to try to. I think he's just going to try to ram it down their throat. I like Keenan Allen too.
He's cool with just winning. That's for sure.
Yeah, he's been just winning. I'll give him that.
Stroud is at 12 and Daniels is at 3:25. Oh, so Daniels does not play early in the morning.
Really?
My
apologies.
Yeah, if that's the case, I'm playing Stroud. Yeah, I'm not taking the risk because I don't really have him that far ranked off anyway.
You're 100% right. I will definitely not take that risk.
Yep.
Unless you could pick up, do it. Play Stroud. I was going to say unless you could pick up Mariota, but that doesn't help you. He's not going to do anything. Although he played well last week, he's not going to be better than CJ Stroud. So Indy stinks. So Stroud could have a good game.
Start 2 wide receivers, 1 flex. We got Adams, Dell, Devontae, and then Brian Robinson, Keenan Allen, Olave, Laporta, Otten. My running backs are Bijan and Jacobs. Tight end is Njoku.
Okay. We need 2 wide receivers. Devontae Adams, Tank Dell, Devonta Smith, Allen, or Olave. Pick 2 of those
Adams,
and then Adams, Dell, Devontae, Keenan, and Olave. You get 2 of those 5. And then you get a flex as well.
Yeah. But my flex is Brian Robinson. My wide receivers are Adams and Olave. Yep. And I'll flex Brian Robinson. Finds the end zone every week. He's like David Montgomery, essentially.
Brian Robinson is my flex.
Yeah.
Even in PPR. And you're going Olave and Adams?
I am. It's close. Adams for me.
I think I'm Olave. I think I was Devonta Smith over Adams and Wilson earlier. So I think I'm.
You were Smith over Olave for sure.
Yeah, and I think I still am. Right now, am I Adams or Olave?
That's what I thought you'd be. I knew Smith was going to be your guy.
I think I'm.
Your second one was going to be.
I'm going to go Smith, Olave, Robinson. Gonzo might have something to say with how Adams' day goes today, so I'll do that.
I just could see him flip-flopping both receivers. And then I'm actually going to put in Cade Otton over Njoku.
I am not, but I can understand it.
Yep.
Just go heavy tight end everywhere today, hey? National Tight Ends Day. Like if you can flex them, pound them in their lineup.
And it's also a matchup. Njoku, the Ravens' middle of the field is tough. I mean, you got their safety, Kyle Hamilton, that's got the deep middle of the field typically, and then you got Roquan in the middle. Yeah, I don't know. Njoku is probably will still find a way to have a decent day, but I just would take the easier path with Otton. Matchup I don't know if it dictated it, but it definitely does here. Need 1 tight end and a flex. Jake Ferguson, Hunter Henry, Wan'Dale Robinson, Jaylen Warren. Hunter Henry.
Tight end is Henry. My flex might be Ferguson.
I'll flex Wan'Dale.
Yeah, I will too.
Yeah,
I got a little caught up in that.
It's close though. It's close.
I got a little caught up.
I almost did what you just said. Yeah, I almost did what you just said. Swift or Devontae Adams for my flex?
Swift.
Yep. He's hot right now. You got to ride that train until he's not. Would you ride with Tua, not knowing for certain whether Jayden Daniels will play? Yes.
I think you have to. Yep.
Yeah, you have to. Appreciate everything, guys. Really enjoy listening to you both. Chat soon. Good luck this week.
Thanks, Michael. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Very nice.
Hopefully, see you next week. Steve Garza asks, half point PPR, flex 1, Chase Brown, Amari, McMillan, Hopkins. I think I'll go Hopkins here.
Yeah, it's between Amari and Hopkins for me, and I'll go with Hopkins too. I just like that.
I think it's always fun to get a fan base excited too about bringing the guy over. And if there's any guy that can get in there and get involved right away, I do think it is Hopkins. Dude's played a million different offenses, million different quarterbacks, and this is by far the best one he's ever going to play with. So it just was interesting that he ended up in Tennessee anyway when he stated he wanted to go to a contender. When he did leave. Half PPR, sit 1. Waddle. Eckler? Or Chuba?
Chicago plays.
Yes, it's got to be Eckler.
Washington.
Ecklebugs. It's got to be Eckler. Or Chuba. I'm sitting Chuba.
I'm sitting Eckler.
Fair enough. He always just sees as like a decent little floor.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Your help is much appreciated. Definitely earned.
Always, Jude.
Thank you, Jude. Everybody follow Jude and like and subscribe, hit the notification. But we're pretty much live almost every Sunday. I miss another one here in like 2 weeks, I think, because of another tattoo appointment. But
what?
Or no, I just have to leave early. That's it. It's the same time, so I just have to leave early again. Won't have to miss any.
All good. I'll just ramble on about how the Vikings pissed me off like I did the last time I was on by myself.
Ariana Riley, we don't know. It looks like
you think so?
But it's like when it comes to this franchise guys and they're in already a pretty good situation record wise, it's sometimes the organizations like to be safe than sorry. So he didn't practice like pretty much all week, but he was limited on Friday. But it's walkthroughs on Fridays, so I don't know what limited means. So
I think they really want the 1 versus 2 to happen, right? That's just a fun story. Like we haven't seen it since Jameis Winston and Marcus Mariota played each other. Let's hope it's better than
look where they're at now.
Right?
They're both potentially playing today. Or no, well, one definitely is. Marcus Mariota might. Who knows?
Yep.
At flex, I got Romeo Doubs, Shakir, and at bench, I've got Dalvin Cook, Jalen McMillan, Ladd McConkey, Rashawn Bateman, Cole Kmet. Would you change anything?
So,
would you take either of those guys out and put in Cole Kmet? I don't think any of the other ones are on option, right? So it's either Cole Kmet in for those guys or what? Where do you have Cole Kmet ranked on your tight ends today?
I have Cole Kmet ranked 11th, right behind Kyle Pitts, right ahead of Hunter Henry.
Yeah, I've been Ingram in over him.
Dobbs, Shakir. So the question is, do I put any of these guys in over Dobbs or Shakir? Okay.
Correct.
I got stuck on the Dalvin Cook part. No.
I don't think so either.
I consider Bateman, but that's a really risky high ceiling play.
Yeah, I'm not considering him at all. If anything, I'd honestly consider Kmet. If it was a tight end premium, I probably would, but I imagine it's not. So I'm going to stick with what you got in there. I think you got the right guys in there.
Okay.
Thanks as always, guys. Good luck this week. I didn't even know he asked the question. Oh, he did. Waddle.
He did. He was the Eckler bugs. Thanks, Scampers. Always good to see you, man. Appreciate it.
We didn't even help you because we had different answers.
Right. But he's smart enough to know we're probably not going to help him on his way in.
He probably was leaning one way, so whichever one he was leaning. Tell us which one you picked, Mr. Scampers. Start Bigsby or Brian Robinson? Brian Robinson.
I have a hard time not starting Brian Robinson.
Yeah. Again, I kind of value him like David Montgomery. He always finds the end zone. He runs out. He's sweet. He said right here. Yes, my sweet boy, Claire. Sorry.
I think it was
correcting the way he spelled it.
I think it was up until last week or the week before, Brian Robinson was a better draft pick than BJ Robinson. So there was like a joke on Twitter, like if you screwed up and picked Brian Robinson when you meant to take BJ Robinson, congratulations. So that's how consistent he's been. Like he's been a better fantasy asset for the vast majority of the season than Bijan, who's like a top 3 consensus running back.
Mm-hmm. Holy crap, it's almost time for games. What's up, fellas? Ferguson and Kraft. Yeah, we're going to answer these quick so we get
Kraft
answers in.
Sorry, Ferguson.
Ferguson. Caleb or Jayden.
You got to go Caleb. Just covered. Oh, no, they play against each other.
They play each other. I'm going Caleb.
I'll take Jayden. Jayden, I go one spot higher.
Okay. Pick 2. DJ Moore, B-Rob, Najee, half PPR. DJ Moore and B-Rob.
First 2. Yep.
Per Dan Quinn, now, barring a setback, warm-up Jayden Daniels will start.
There you go.
Good to know. Sorry, one more real quick. Decided to pick up Nick's off waiver because he plays at 325, so he can be the backup if Daniels doesn't play.
There you go.
No, I think that's a good idea. Yeah,
as long as you're not dropping CJ for Nick's, right? As long as you can roster all 3, then yeah, I like that a lot.
Yep, that's a good idea. And it sounds like you answered your question got answered. Jayden Daniels will play unless he gets hurt in previous. Worthy Shakir Sutton. Worthy Shakir Sutton at flex could also do Njoku. That sounds weird. Yeah, it's Shakir for me.
Yes, me too.
Yeah, Worthy or Sutton are 0 point.
I want Worthy to be something so bad, but it's just.
It could be. He could be. I have Bijan and Robinson Jr. Is my. So he's got both Robinsons.
There you go.
As my starters most weeks, I drafted ETN, who has done nothing. I got Mahomes on my bench. Love is my starter. Should I trade Mahomes and upgrade a running back? Yeah, I don't really think you need to upgrade a running back, but I would definitely look to trade Mahomes for sure.
I just don't think you're going to get anything for him.
Yeah, he might just for name value.
Maybe. Find your
thank you guys.
Kansas City fan in your league.
Kareem Hunt or DJ Moore? DJ Moore for me. Ingram or Kraft? Ingram for me.
Ingram.
Yeah, I got Ingram as top 3 today.
You hate Kraft.
I don't hate Kraft. It's just like every tight end he's getting put with.
You haven't picked him yet.
And but he gets put in with good people. He's like the best middle of the pack option. But they keep asking like top 8 guys, it seems like.
All right.
Have a good day,
That's
boys.
good.
Enjoy your Sunday. Thanks, Gabriel.
You too, Gabriel. Thank you.
Thanks for everything, guys. No problem, Cody. Thank you. Guys, like, subscribe. Yes, we have caught up finally. I can hurry up and make sure all my lineups are set. I think I've
and then tell me really quickly, this is the trade I got that I took. Would you take I screwed up. Hang on. Which side do you want? Jordan Mason and Juwan Jennings or Tyron Tracy and Mason Tipton?
Jordan Mason and Juwan Jennings.
Yeah.
I can see why somebody would want Tyron Tracy, though. I think that could be a win-win.
So I do too.
Yeah, I think it's a win-win. I think that can be a win-win for sure. I would have tried to get more out of Jordan Mason, but if he's scared that his value is about to plummet because Christian McCaffrey comes back here in a week or two, and Juwan Jennings only holds value when there's injuries there, I could see how that is a win-win. But I think he could have got more. So I don't hate it. Agreed. I don't hate it either way. And it says, is Jayden Daniels for sure playing? Apparently, per Dan Quinn, he is playing, barring any setbacks. So, good luck, guys. We're going to end the stream. Make sure we get our lineup set in the next 4 minutes. So,
I got to get
good luck. Unless you're playing me. Awesome. So, Sully didn't have it last week. You can look at his roster.
Nope. Got pumped.
I'm taking down another 6-1 team this week, okay? I'm going to be the best. I'm going to be the best team with the worst points scored. Let's go.
Awesome.
Later, guys.